49ers are moving money around, or maybe it's the NFL. Breezie, you ready to talk about it?
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.
Yo. What's up?
What's going on, baby? It's another beautiful day. Gloomy day.
That's why I just want to make sure for you, gloomy is beautiful. For most, gloomy is gloomy. So I just wanted to make sure, you know what I'm saying? You know, that I understood your wording, the definition of what gloomy, beautiful is.
It makes me happy. I be nice and relaxed. It be raining. Nobody want to be outside. I usually got most of the road to myself, but then the people that are out there don't know how to drive. So I know how to drive somebody else crazy. So I get all that, but
I do.
I'm good, man. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Today's Tuesday. I'm trying to think of my normal. Oh, I had to do a Bleacher Report earlier. It was pretty interesting. It was kind of popping actually. And I was just talking about some draft day scenarios, some trade scenarios that could go down for the San Francisco 49ers on draft day, especially day one. Day two of the draft is going to be the most televised, right? Like, it's going to be where the eyes are on them, the pressure for the Niners to get those picks right. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know what I did on Twitter, Mike? I know because you're good at pulling up stuff on Twitter. Pull up my last tweet if you can. And then I'm going to ask you the question, because you've been doing your homework. You've been doing your research, you know what I'm saying? And you finally started your scouting. And I'm curious to know, who would your first, second, and third selections be in the draft if you were the 49ers? Like, who would Mike pick for the 49ers? Round 1, round 2, round 3. You don't got to give me no discrepancy. You could pick whoever you want that you feel is going to be available in those 3 rounds.
Oh, so I see what you did here. All right, so you got Jordan Morgan, Max Melton, and you got Javon Baker.
So I went tackle, I went cornerback, I went wide receiver.
Right. I like that.
Thank you.
And I, you know that my guy, you got him, so I'm always gonna be happy about that, right?
I'm torn between two DBs that are literally identical. You might get a little bit more athleticism out of Max Melton, but I love the way Andrew Phillips out of Kentucky plays. I'm sorry, but it's got to be one of them two dudes because they could play inside, they could play outside. I like them better outside. I'm not going front. If I was going to go with an inside guy, though, it would be Mike Sainristil out of Michigan. I just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah. If I'm the Niners, I am going with a guy like, it depends on how everything falls. All right.
Don't worry about how everything falls. What are you going to go with
Guyton.
First? Are you going Tyler Guyton out of Oklahoma? Okay, tackle.
I'm going Tyler Guyton.
He predominantly plays right tackle, y'all, so that's good.
Max Melton,
cornerback out of Rutgers.
And Christian Hayes,
a guard out of UConn. Shout out to UConn. Shout out to my Husky women.
There you go.
Oh, man. What a game. First of all, what a freaking game. I was probably cursing at least for the whole 40 minutes of that game. Mike, literally, what are they doing? That first quarter was weird. The second quarter, they kind of took the ropes. And then I was like, they got into foul trouble, early. And college basketball fouls are weird. Because they literally will, especially for the women, they really will determine, they can really determine the game. And so when they had those defenders that had the early fouls, I was like, oh, Juju about to go bananas. Can't nobody guard her. And they had to put my girl Paige on her. And I was like, please, Paige, don't foul. Please don't foul. Because then it's a wrap. Like, it's a wrap.
I like how aggressive they are in college basketball with the fouls. Like, you get 2 in the first quarter, they start targeting you. Now they're trying to get you to draw that third one. Yeah, like they don't play.
They want to make you come out of the game, right? And that's men and women basketball. That's how basketball is in college. But Mike, I gotta ask you, you watched, I don't know if you watched the UConn game, but you definitely watched Iowa versus LSU.
Yes.
And it's Caitlin Clark versus Paige Beckers. Mike, who you going with, bro? And it's okay if you pick Iowa. I'm not gonna be mad at you. I'm gonna cuss at you, but I'm not gonna be mad at you. So don't get mad when I curse.
Just like last night's game, like I said, I was watching it. Like I felt like I had to go. My kids were like, "Daddy, who you going for?" I was like, "I'm kind of going for the underdog," and I thought LSU was the underdog. So now
they were
right. So I kind of want to see UConn do it.
UConn's the underdog. They're the 3 seed.
I'm wired that way. So I want to see UConn do it.
Yeah, I want UConn to do it because they've been battle tested all season, and they got to get past this. They got to get past Iowa, and then they'll have to face the winner out of. Can we give North Carolina State a round of applause? Who the hell are they? Where did this Wolfpack come from? And it's just crazy because the men and the women, Mike, from North Carolina State and from UConn for the first time in college basketball are in the NCAA tournament. Final Four. Yep.
That's crazy. That is wild.
All right, Oscars.
You love to see stuff like that happen. Man. It's good for the schools. You know what I mean? They got something to hang their hat on. The recruiting gets a little bit better. Just little stuff like that, man. It just boosts so much stuff. You know what I'm saying?
So, Mike, what I would like to do on today's episode, and I agree with you 1,000%, is I would like to star some of the comments, some of the questions, and then do kind of like a Q&A. But let's just get down to these big bucks and the Niners, a couple of players getting some stuff. And Oscar, we're going to come back to this because I want to know, the question is, what three players would you draft first, second, third in the draft? And you could put them in the chat and we'll do our best at highlighting them, and then we'll go over them and give you our takes on them. How about we do that? But let's get down to real quickly, Mike, the Danny Gray situation. Was he involved in this kind of like hit and run with wide receiver Rashee Rice from the Kansas City Chiefs?
It's been rumored that he was.
It's been rumored. Okay, that's why I'm asking.
I haven't seen any concrete evidence, and to be completely honest with you, without a Google search, I wouldn't be able to tell you what Danny Gray looked like. That's bad, right?
That's real bad. But
that's bad.
If he was there, I'm sure he was so fast that he got out of there.
Really? In a speed racing? That's the joke you made?
I was waiting. No, I was. Yo, that's clutch. Come on, man. That's
I wish where my bell at, man? I'm gonna keep my bell on the desk going forward.
Listen, like all jokes aside, man. Was anyone severely injured in that?
No, I think it was just an accident. No one was killed or anything like that. So, it's thank God everybody walked away. Knock on wood. Everybody walked away healthy from there. But it still looks like a hit and run type of thing. So
yeah,
or
not good.
Hit and leave. They were walking away, but they also could have been just trying to like a little 10-second clip doesn't really show the whole thing, right? I've been in accidents before where you just leave the vehicle and you wait on the side of the road and you try to get out of harm's way. So it leaves a lot, to the imagination, a little 10-second clip.
All right, cool beans. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that real quick. Wanted to touch on that, and we're glad that the people that were involved are safe. I think that's the only thing we really care about. All right, Mike, let's talk about Brock Purdy and Deommodore Lenoir got a bonus from the NFL, not from the 49ers, right? From the NFL, right?
Yeah. So there's this thing that is called the performance-based pay program, something that was negotiated between the NFL and the NFL, collectively bargained between them and the NFLPA. So basically, it's like people who are paid at the end of their respective, caps, or lower drafted guys or undrafted guys, It's like an incentive. It's like a bonus. Like, oh, you actually came in as a UDFA and you're a starter. Here's some money because you played 80% of your team snaps at your starting position. Like, and so they're giving these guys money based off of that. It was 25 players who received it. I do actually have the whole list. I don't know how many of these names on there you would recognize, but Deommodore Lenoir ranked 14th, so he received $790,000.
I'm all for the bonuses, man. Pay, you know, if you outperform your contract, you outperform your job, you should be rewarded. I'm all for that.
Yeah. And Brock Purdy came in 24th, and he made $739,000. So
7th round pick, 6th round pick.
Check this out, right? Like, that was almost Brock Purdy's salary for this year.
So at least he doubled it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dang, Brock Purdy barely made $1.5 million last year.
In San Francisco. So he didn't. Like, it's tough, but the
I'm not
bonus
laughing.
actually will help.
It will, but he's got to pay. They got to pay their taxes on it, right?
They got to pay the bonus tax.
Do they got to pay? Oh, I got a question. Like, do they have to pay where's the NFL office located?
New York.
So do they pay the New York taxes on there?
It's a hit either way. New York and
Cali. Yeah, but New York is a slight save over California taxes. A slight save. Slight. Yeah, it is a hit.
Yeah, it's bad. It is bad.
It is a hit.
Have you seen the list of the players?
If you have it, let's pull it up. No, I didn't pay attention to the list. I just paid attention to the 49ers on that list.
Got you. I didn't recognize a whole lot of them on here.
Okay.
But
yeah, like I know Reed Blankenship, I recognize. And I think he just signed a 1-year deal with the Philadelphia Eagles. Reed Blankenship.
Safety for the Eagles there.
Let's see who else.
I was trying to see if there was anyone
Osiris Torrance. I liked him at the Senior Bowl 2 years ago. Not this one that just passed, but the one before that. The first year I went to the Senior Bowl. I liked him at the Senior Bowl. But he outperformed.
Number 10, Tariq Woolen.
The corner
for the Seahawks.
Yeah. Corner for the Seahawks. I didn't know he went in round 5.
Yeah. Yep.
So
this is what it looked like. There's a 2nd round player on here. I don't understand exactly how this works.
He made almost $850K too.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it matters like the round you get drafted in. I think it's about the snaps, right?
Oh yeah. So that's what they said. They said that Demo was a starter for every game, all 17 games, and I think they said he played something like 80 or 90% of the team snaps. So that's why. And then a lot of these guys were contributors on special teams as well. You could take if you're done looking at it, we could take the picture off.
Oh, that's kind of dope. Yo, our bro Dion says, they pay taxes in every away game in each state. Damn.
Well, it benefits you though, because like if you got games in Florida, you like it. You know what I'm saying? So it benefits you. If I'm the 49ers, I want as many away games as possible. If I'm only worried about my paycheck, get me out of Cali.
Yeah, but that's funny if they got to play the Chargers, the Rams. They got to play the Rams there. They got hit, so that's another home away from home.
I wonder what the Mexico tax is like when they do the
international taxes. That is weird. Or the London taxes, right? Yeah. That's gonna be crazy.
We had the white today or the red? I don't even remember. I'm sorry.
I never knew there was a difference, but I think I know. I see it. So, all right, that's the performance-based players program. So, congratulations to all those dudes, man. And so that it's crazy, man. Keep going out there and grinding, like Demo. You know what I love about Demo?
He had a career year.
His rookie season, he was tested him. They tested him a lot, especially on the outside. Remember that Eagles game? He got burnt by like every ego. like no pun intended. Like Quez Watkins burnt him. I think that was the one he made Quest go out of bounds. So Quest still caught the ball, but it didn't count. But like that that year, that rookie year, man. I'm saying that to say that it's not easy for these guys to come fresh out of college, no matter where they get drafted, and they're going to be tested when they get to the NFL. You're going to get guys that's been in the league. It's not like they're going up against rookies like them. They're going up against pros. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, vets.
Um,
Yeah,
and so when I look at Deommodore Lenoir, I say to myself, man, we literally watch a defensive back grow and mature in a system. This might be the only 49ers defensive back that I felt like they developed, like that they drafted and developed. I don't think we've ever had this conversation, Mike. I think this is the only defensive back that they developed, like literally let develop and still with the team
and groomed into a starter.
Yeah,
They do this tough love thing with these guys. It's like get
starter
in there,
in two ways.
take your lumps, right? But then like you never hear from him again. It's hard for him to get back in the good graces of the team. Demo, he got something in him, bro.
Yo, it's a different fight, 100%. I don't know what he went through in Oregon, but whatever it was, or where he's been through, like throughout his life, you know, these guys got different upbringings, man, and so, you know, some guys are stronger in certain situations. Some guys are, you know, you can badmouth them, talk trash, you could demote them, but that only pushes them to go harder to prove you wrong. I'm that type of person. I'm the type of person to prove you wrong. I feel like that's who Deommodore Lenoir is. Doesn't talk much, just goes out there and does it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just wanted to show him some love. As far as Brock's got to be the greatest to be another great Mr. Irrelevant. I think this is it. No, I don't think the NFL will even allow it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
All that. Did I even watch any of that for?
Yes,
Brock
you
Purdy?
did. Remember Brock was in the crib with the family on draft night. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like PBS style.
Yeah,
like it wasn't Showtime or HBO or whatever it's called now.
And of all the positions, the Niners had two guys that they were going back and forth with starting. They had another backup, like, and he still made it. Like the odds, bro.
He defied all odds. That should be the name of his book. Defying all odds. But the thing is, he had to get opportunities. So the fate from other players gave him his opportunity, and then he took the opportunity and Eminem'd it. Like, I always say that because of that one song that Eminem came out with, "Lose Yourself." That has to be one of the greatest hooks of all time, yo. Like one of the greatest choruses of all time. Like, you better lose yourself. Yeah, huh?
It's a great hype song. Like,
it is, but just the hook,
hype songs.
like just listening to the hook though, like, and you can apply it to every measure or standout or facet of life. Like, you know, you better lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go, because you only get one shot. Like, that's it. That's it. You get one shot, and do you want to stay there? Now you got to do whatever it takes to stay there, but you get that one shot. So shout out to our 49er players that took advantage of this program and that exceeded and did what they needed to do. Some developing news or reports going on that the 49ers are interested in Tyler Boyd, Mike. And, you know, we didn't have a regular show, but let's talk a little bit about that before we get into some of these comments. And again, for those that are just tuning in, thank y'all so much. Make sure you hit that like button. Also, put your top, your first, second round, and third selections in the chat. We don't care if you're a paid member or not. We're going to look at those first, second round, third selections, put it all together on one message, and we're going to highlight it. We're going to talk about it. So far, I got 3 starred.
Yeah.
I feel like people.
And if you don't know players' names, also put the positions you would like the Niners to address in order.
And then we could give you a player. How about that?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because that'll be dope too. Because a lot of times we'll fall in love with a tackle.
Correct.
He'll be available, and the Niners will get a different tackle. And it's
agree.
like, wait, what? So I mean, if they address in the position, that's still something to celebrate. So I think.
But it doesn't. Cool. It got to be the right guy at the position.
But it depends on what the right guy is to them, because they might be changing some stuff up. You know what I'm saying? Like, they might be looking to beef up the offensive line because you got Big Trent, you got Big Banks, right? What if they go out there and get like a real big center, all of a sudden, like, oh, we're going to do a little bit more power running? Like, is that what we're going to do? Like, I just don't know what the future is for the team and how they maneuvering around, you know? So if they go out there and get another real light in that butt tackle like McGlinchey, and it's like, okay, they're going to stick with that. You know what I mean? Like, they want these guys to get to the second level, you know? So we got to see how it works out. But yeah. So guys, give us your players, and if you don't have players, put the positions in there in the order you want them to draft them.
Real quick, thoughts on Tyler Boyd. Real quick, just
yes,
Niners.
That's what it was. I like this rumor. For the 49ers because
is it a rumor or is it like a report? I don't know if it's a rumor, but it's definitely from a credited source.
Yeah. I mean, it's teams that are interested in what his price tag is going to be, but the Niners are interested in everybody's price tag. They'll be like, okay, no, we're not paying that, so no.
Right.
So that's why I don't know. But I like it. He's a very dependable guy. I like the size. I like the experience. He's a good route runner. And so this is really good for the Niners if they are interested in a guy like Tyler Boyd that says that they do value something. They want a sure-handed guy out there to continue with Brock Purdy and the team. So it is a really, really good look. And in the event that they can't afford Brandon Ayuk, it's a good substitute. And then you can still get younger in the draft. I like it.
I'm curious to know what his price tag is going to be. I mean, he's definitely an older guy. He's not young. But he gives me, I'm not comparing him to this player, but at the stage of their career, let me know if you agree with this. He gives me the Pierre Garçon vibe, where you bring in this elite, the savvy veteran that had elite traits that could come in and move the ball. The question is, will that mesh with the Brandon Ayuk? Let's say Brandon Ayuk stays. I like it, period. I don't care if Brandon Ayuk stays or goes. I like that they're intrigued in this particular player because now you're going to get another sure-handed wide receiver, like another option that you know is going to catch the ball. That's his main job, is making sure he comes down with the catch. He keeps chains moving, and things like that. The question is, how much will it cost? But I feel like I'm getting that kind of a vibe. Go get me a veteran that can still give me some production. And I think that's how the Niners will look to kind of like pay him. Like, you know what I mean? like, you do this, you do this. It's going to be incentive based, 1,000%.
Yeah, he is. Oh, he's been in the league for 7 years. Wow. That was a fast 7 too.
It did go by fast because it feels like he's been in the league for 14 years. No, you're right. But no, this is what happened. So for those that don't know Tyler Boyd's story, okay, they drafted T. Higgins in the second round a couple years ago. They drafted Jamar Chase a couple of years ago, and his reps went down. But before they got there, he was that dude. I don't know who their number one was, but that was that dude. You know what I mean?
He was solid. Yeah. He's definitely a solid number 2 wide receiver. And people are going to look at his stats and say, it decreased, but look at who he's surrounded with. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. He would be a solid number 2 here, though. I think he can come in here and be like like, for a lack of a better term, he could be like a Anquan Bolden. Remember how Bolden came to the Niners and held it down? I think he could do that here. Now, Bolden ended up being a number 1 receiver on questionable teams, but
correct.
It was the spark that we needed.
Correct. And AJ Green was their number 1 for Cincy. So Boyd was always the number 2. But Boyd, in my opinion, the reason why I compared him to Pierre Garçon at the time he came to the Niners was not a number 1 wide receiver, even though he was probably brought in to be our number 1 wide receiver. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he was just not a number 1 at that time in his career. He was so that's kind of like how I look at Boyd. But this is going to be interesting because if they do kick the tires on this and the Niners do bring him in here, it's going to be interesting because you got some guys that are looking for opportunities to make this roster. And let's say you keep Debo, you still have, you don't trade Debo, you don't trade Brandon Ayuk, you can't trade Jawan Jennings because you signed him to that tender, so you got him for at least 1 more year. But that 4, 5, and 6, or 4 and 5, Ronnie Bell bubble, Danny Gray bubble, they might draft a guy, he might be on the like this. It makes it interesting.
Yeah. And I think the Niners are going to get some receivers in this draft. Let's
1,000%.
Look at this comp.
Okay. I never liked Stevie Johnson though.
What?
Didn't. And I never liked
I
him.
love Stevie when he was
I
in
didn't.
Buffalo, bro.
He was an all right Bill to me, and he was a terrible 49er.
It was the end. Come on, man. That's not fair. That's not
What?
fair. It was the end of his career.
You can't say that was. So what? He was brought here to produce, and he produced zero. I mean, he had injury, but
Manningham and that was a stretch right there, man. We had all the same type of receivers. Like
here's the thing. I liked him. Well, never mind. Let me get rid of my biases. I got to get rid of these biases. I liked Mario Manningham, but he was terrible for the 49ers. He had a nice catch though. He was horrible. He was horrible.
He had a nice.
He had a nice catch, bro. A nice catch. If we did a show where we went through 49er free agent wide receiver signings, I think Anquan Boldin would be the best one.
Yeah. Free agent wide receivers. He might be the best one.
I think he would be the best one.
That's crazy. I'm gonna have to think back on something.
So you go ahead and produce that show. I know that's what you like to do. You like the nostalgia.
Man.
Brandon Lloyd was dope. Leon Sandcastle. Brandon Lloyd was dope. Really but he made miraculous catches. Oh, Bolden was traded to the Niners. Thanks, Mark. So we can't count him. I thought he was a free agent. I didn't know we traded with the Ravens to get him.
I don't recall.
I don't recall either. But if Mark said he was traded, then but we can't include we can't include Bolden. That's fine with me. So we got to go through the list and see which free agents. You know what I'm saying? That would be dope. I didn't like Pierre Garçon, but he was dope until the back injury. Like I thought he was gonna be
purpose. Though.
Yeah, he did.
It was a young team. Kyle needed somebody to really get into the books with everybody. He had that experience with Kyle. Like that, what Kyle and John did that year for their first year here, they went and got somebody at every position group.
Yes,
had a history with Kyle to be extra teachers in the room when Kyle could be. I thought that was so dope.
So all right, so I like that. So I didn't like Stevie Johnson. I'm glad you brought that up. I just didn't like him when he came here. Mike, Randy Moss?
He had a nice catch.
I'm so mad. We finally get Randy Moss, and he was literally like a shell of himself.
Yeah. I mean, he had some big plays, though. He had a couple of
He did.
He
did.
He served us well.
All right, let's get to
these last 2 minutes. Yeah,
let's get to these the ones that we starred. So Anthony says, can we get a lockdown corner in the first round if we can't trade down? What do you think? Mike, what's trading down is going back into the second round, right?
Yes. When you say trade down, that means get out of the first round.
Would you recommend that for the 49ers?
It depends on how I hate saying this. It depends on how the first round goes. Like if all your first round graded guys are
care. The fifth year option doesn't you don't give two flying cares about the fifth year option.
I mean, it's got to be someone worth it, right? It's got to be someone that think is worth it.
But my point is, if you trade out, you're losing it. See, the issue with the Niners is they're at 31, so they literally will be trading back.
Unproductive, and I'm gonna tell you why. Look at Brandon Ayuk right now. If he didn't have that fifth year option, he'd already be extended. No matter what happens now, because this fifth year option is here, if we extend him, it's going to be more than what it would have cost us last year to sign him and extend him because the market continues to climb every year. So that fifth year option is just an extra bargaining chip for the team.
Right. So you lose the fifth year option. Right. Right. Yeah. I think the Niners pride on this fifth year option because of that bargaining chip. I don't think they care about the market. I don't think they care about you only gonna cost me $14 million this year. Sure, we'll go ahead and put the fifth year option on. And remember, it changes per position. We didn't even think about that. Every position has a different price. Mm-hmm. So that might tell you what they might look to draft.
They extended Ayuk last year, and then he came out and had this season. Would we say it was worth it?
Yes, because we got him. You got him on a bargain. You got him on a bargain. Like
right.
You got him on a deal before the market went up on the wide receiving position.
Yeah. Right. Right.
So I get what you're saying, but for the Niners, I just feel like they just like having all the tools in the toolbox to be able to
you
utilize.
think stay in the first round and secure somebody, get that extra year.
That's what I'm thinking.
It's another year of assessment. See what they look like in their fourth year.
And if you look at the way we draft now, we're literally drafting for the 2025 season opposed to the 2024 season. So if you look at the way the Niners draft, that first year is redshirt, and they're okay with that fifth year option. But picking at 31 changes that. That's why I think they possibly may move up and get rid of some of those picks. Like they might get rid of, like, okay, I can't remember what it cost. Somebody said a 4th and a 7th on my other show, but I felt like that wasn't enough. But what did we use to move up to get Brandon Ayuk? We were at pick 31, and what did it cost us? We gave up our 2nd round pick. We swapped the 1st round pick. So was it a swap of the 1st and the 2nd? Is that all it cost to go to 25? Because if that's the case, the Niners are trading about the freaking up. They're trading up.
All right. So let me see here. 49ers trade up to acquire Brandon Ayuk. Here we go, right here. It says that the Niners gave up number 31, 117, and 176.
So it was a swap of the 1st, and it was a Yo, the Niners are trading up in this draft, Mike. Superstar top pick. Snap. So Mike, at who we think the Niners can target in the 20s, in the mid 20s too. Now the early 20s is gonna cost them a little bit more.
Yeah.
All right. Oscar says
this is good.
This is great. Like, this is great. All right. So Oscar says defensive tackle, cornerback, and then wide receiver. I thought Oscar was gonna let us pick who we wanted, but not Oscar, because Oscar is just always on the money. Like, you know.
Yeah, he's with it.
He likes Drazan Johnny Newton, Tavondre Sweat from Texas, or Braden Fisk out of Boston College. These are 3 of my top 5 defensive tackles. Byron Murphy, the 2nd, is in there as well. And then Chris Jenkins will close off my top 5 defensive tackles in this draft. Leggett, that's the kid out of South Carolina. I do like Malachi Corley after watching some film on him. That's the Debo guy. Leggett reminds me of oh my gosh, why do I keep drawing a blank? DK Metcalf. I get those vibes from Xavier Leggett. So watch him play. See, let me know what you think. Very strong wide receiver. I didn't know he went to a different school before he got to South Carolina neither. I didn't know that. He likes Josh Newton out of TCU, and then Kalen Bullock, who I think could play the nickel, but he's a safety. He's a safety out of USC. So these are some of the players that he suggested. But guys,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I saw T.O. saying my son's going to be a 49er. Did you see that?
Yes. Crazy, right? Another legacy guy.
An undrafted wide receiver coming to the Niners per T.O. I kind of like that. I like that a lot. So that's pretty cool. I got to look up Leggett because I don't know much about him. So I'm going to have fun looking that up. I can't wait to watch the film. DK Metcalf vibes. That's high praise right there. High praise.
Kylie wants to know how I feel about Kyrie Jackson. All right. So I'm going to make this extra quick. I love this kid out of Oregon. I know that it doesn't sound like the Niners are looking at this kid. They're looking at the other cornerback from Oregon. But I don't understand how you could pass up on a kid that's 6'3" with an 84.5-inch wingspan, and he runs a 4.5. It doesn't matter. Like, this
what the
kid,
hips do, though?
There you go. And so he's really getting beat. The question is he going to be physical at the line of scrimmage? And that, to me, like, if he's playing press, but he kind of gives me like the Richard Sherman type vibe. Like, he's a smart guy, and he has the ability to recover. So if he's getting beat, he has the length, the measurables, and the ability to recover. I really do like Kyrie Jackson. I'm not sure where he's going to go. I just don't know. Mike brought it to my attention that Mike, do you notice off the top of your head, and we can get out of here, do you notice off the top of your head the measurables for your guy that the 49ers drafted out of Colorado a few years back?
Kello Witherspoon.
You knew exactly who I was talking about. You couldn't wait to say that name.
I gotta say his name. I believe Spoon was 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", and he was light though.
I'm just curious to know if the Niners stay away from that frame.
He was, or is, I should say is, I shouldn't say was, because his height hasn't changed. He's 6'2". Witherspoon was 6'2", and I believe he was like he was small though, 180, 190.
Right, so he was light in the frame. So I'm curious to see
195
if the 49ers stay in his frame, because I like Cam Hart, who's 6'2", same measurables as Kello Witherspoon out of Notre Dame, who's a better tackler in the run game than Kyrie Jackson is, but Kyrie Jackson's a better defender in the pass game. So I'm curious.
I don't think they'll stay away from it though. I don't think they were disappointed with his size.
I thought you said they don't typically go after the taller corners. They like the 6 feet, 6'1" guys on the outside. Curious to know.
They're usually more shifty, less lost motion in the strides and things like that. You know what I mean? They usually have choppier feet and can change direction better. But
this comes down to Nick Sorensen and what the heck he wants. Now that I'm starting to think about it, like how does Nick Sorensen view the defensive backs and things like that? How does he want that secondary to look under him? Dion says, offensive line. I feel like this is Dylan.
Manny Shave.
Yeah.
I like center
DB, right tackle. Now, he was specific in right tackle. Now, that's where the issue starts. When you specify the side, it's to me, when you're looking at right tackles, it's Talise Fuaga out of Oregon State, and then everybody else played left tackle. But then you get down to Tyler Guytons and your Amarius Mims. Those are your right tackles, but those are ones with less reps at that position. And then then after that, it's back to left tackles. Like if you still want some of the second top tier guys, and then you got to look at like the Javon Fosters and I think he played left tackle. So you got to it's kind of weird. Like, I don't know what the Niners can do at the right tackle spot, but I'm quitting. But center for me is JPJ. Like, and Mike, I think, likes Zach Frazier out of West Virginia. So those two centers would serve their purpose. But let's say they don't get those guys in the first round. The Niners can still find themselves getting a combo guard like a Tanner Bartoloni from Wisconsin.
Matt Lee.
Yep. So there's some guys that they can get. You know what I mean? We got one more question, Mike, and we'll jump off out of here. Let's see. From Neutral 69.
All right. Nope. I'm not going to do it. Do you think the 49ers can get the quarterback McCarthy from Michigan? I'm just going to clear out and let Wayne take this one, y'all.
So the question is, do I think that they can get McCarthy? And no, McCarthy's going to go probably potentially third overall to the Patriots. I know that they said they're high on Jaden Daniel, but he's going to a team that definitely needs a quarterback. And so I can see the Vikings moving up to get him. But if McCarthy didn't have this dope pro day or whatever, like, I think he would have probably fell into the second round. And so, like, the Niners with the second round pick, I don't think he would have lasted at 63, but it would have been really cool to see if McCarthy and Penix, them are your one. Yeah, those are the guys that should go first round that will end up going second round, because all the teams that needed a quarterback is going to get the one in the first round. If you're a Patriot fan watching this show, which I don't think you are, but if you are a Patriot fan, here's my suggestion. Draft mother freaking Marvin Harrison Jr. and take your shot in trying to get Penix Jr. in round 2. Please.
Penix is going to be nice. I'm telling y'all now.
That should be how you do your draft. I guarantee you that's not how they're going to do their draft. They're going to go for the quarterback.
You know who I think is comparable to Penix?
Yeah.
He's on the Niners right now.
Oh, Brock Purdy.
No.
He is, though. Nah.
I think Dobbs and Penix play a very similar way.
Nah, Penix doesn't run like Dobbs. But as far
Dobbs don't like to run either.
Yeah.
He can.
Yeah. Penix won't. Like
and that's what I like about him.
Well, Penix won't because he's too fragile and he'll break. He's like Mr. Breakable or whatever that dude name was. Mr. Glass. That was
Mr. Glass.
Yeah.
Mr. Glass. Oh man, look at you. That was a good call.
You guys got some dope comments. I'd like to hear this from you. This is how they get us from not getting off, and I like this. Cedric Van Prawn, he's a center out of Georgia. He thinks he'll be a perfect fit. It's a good prospect. I just don't think the Niners are going to be high on drafting a center as much as we want them to, unless I think if JPJ falls to 31, I think that's where it'll make the 49ers kind of brains start swelling up because now they got to make a decision. Do we go center? Do we get this tackle that we know is not going to be available later in round 2? It's going to cause them to kind of whatever. Zach Zenner, guard from Michigan. Man, you guys know how I like me some Zach Zenner. He's more of a power run guy. That's what they kind of ran out of Michigan, but they did run outside zone. And so they ran it better when Zenner was out there. I want to point that out there. Zach Zenner ended up tearing all the CLs toward the end of the season. And it sucked because he didn't get to play in a championship game. But he will be recovering. This is a guy you could probably get in round 2 or 3 because he's coming back from the injury. Mike, do you draft a guy returning from injury and you're stashing him?
Mm-hmm. I guarantee you the Niners get at least 2 guys in this draft that were high ceiling guys, but got injured and fell to them. You know what I'm saying? It's going to happen. It is 100% going to happen. It's going to happen.
Brett Brooks says
all teams do it.
They do. But the Niners do it frequently. I think that's the issue. Thoughts on Hartman from Notre Dame. I didn't like him at the Senior Bowl. He wasn't good. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him. I didn't like the way he played against all-star talent.
Right.
So I'm not big on Hartman. Again, if the Niners were looking to get a quarterback, it's got to be the kid from Kentucky. It's got to be Leary for me. That's the efficient guy.
The 2 names that'll probably be around much later, Jordan Travis, Michael Pratt.
So Travis is another one that's coming off the injury that might be available.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he goes at least in the 4th. But if he drops and he's sitting in the 6th or 7th round, it's just gonna be crazy the Niners draft a quarterback when I don't think they necessarily have to, but you're talking about Jordan Travis.
Yeah.
Dynamic kid.
All right. Listen, I think that's gonna do it, man. We had a lot of fun here. I see what Deion doing over here. We got a show coming up tomorrow night. I know what he's setting the table for. We're gonna be debating Kyle Shanahan and his tendencies. So it's gonna be a nice fun show. Tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern. So y'all get your popcorn ready. I'm not much of a debater. I don't think I'm much of a debater. I have my points and I'm strong and I stand in them, but I'm not one to go back and forth a whole lot. So it's gonna be interesting. I gotta turn it up a little bit. And Deion bring energy. So
he does.
Yeah. So it's gonna be fun to see how it goes though. It's gonna be fun to see how it goes. But listen, I think that's it for today, man. Wayne, any other final thoughts? Any other comments we want to get to before we get out of here?
No, man. I hope everything was good, man. I hope the sound, the quality, everything was good, man. We appreciate you guys for rocking with us daily. We know it's tough in this off season, but the draft is 3 weeks away. There's going to be plenty of content from both channels, and just get excited, man, because the Niners are retooling and building for the future, man. It's always going to be brick by brick, and when one brick gets loose, they got to find a new brick to replace it. So that's what the Niners are looking to do in this particular draft, yo. And I'm most excited about this draft for. I want to see how the Niners draft without Peters.
Adam Peters, yeah. Mm-hmm. I can't wait. That's what makes me. I like change. I was thinking about the kickoff rule. I was like, oh man, then I got excited about it again. So I'm all over the place because now it changes to so much. Just the changes coming to the NFL this year are going to be fun. Changes coming to the Niners going to be a lot of fun. I'm with you.
All right, brother.
Sign off. We live all the time, just kicking it with the fam, bro. That's Breezie. I'm Mike, and this is the B.A.M Show. Peace.